Now to our developing story on NBA Today. Stephanie White has been named the head coach of the Indiana Fever this morning.
The WNBA just got a massive shakeup. The Indiana Fever pulled off a stunning move by bringing in Stephanie White from the Connecticut Sun, sending shockwaves through the league. Fans are buzzing, but the real drama is with the Sun players, especially Alyssa Thomas, who is reportedly furious. White's return to Indiana, paired with rising star Caitlin Clark, has the Fever looking like legit championship contenders. This change could set up an explosive season ahead, with the Fever positioned to take on top teams. How will the Sun bounce back, and can the Fever make it to the top?
Looking good for the team that played what I called puke ball. The Sun, the Connecticut Sun.
Let's set the scene.
The Connecticut Sun were on top, the team everyone had their eyes on after a stellar season. But now, with Stephanie White leaving, their dominance is unraveling faster than a last-second buzzer beater.
They're screwed. Obviously, their coach has gone to the Indiana Fever. Their coach went to the enemy, which is not great for them.
Now here's where things get wild. Alyssa Thomas, one of the Sun's biggest stars, is absolutely fuming. Known for her intense rivalry with Indiana Fever fans, who she's long considered some of the most hostile in the league, she's now watching her own coach pack up and head to Indiana. Feeling deeply betrayed, Thomas has taken to Twitter, firing off frustrated tweets in a flurry that feels like the 4th of July, letting everyone know just how blindsided she feels. Just days ago, she was gearing up for another championship run, but now her coach is switching sides.
As you had Dejanay tweeting out about how much she hated Fever fans, you had Alyssa Thomas publicly talking about how much she hated Fever fans, how much she hated the Fever fans and all that stuff, and suddenly your head coach is suddenly gone to the Fever. It's not, I wouldn't be too happy about that if I were them.
Unbelievable. And it's not just Alyssa Thomas losing it, other players are hinting at jumping ship, and fans are in an absolute frenzy. The team's future feels shakier than a worn-out shoelace. Connecticut Sun management is scrambling to hold things together, desperately working to stop the team from unraveling entirely. This shockwave could change everything for the franchise.
DeWanna Bonner, there's a possibility that DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas both go to the Phoenix Mercury. Like, that is a legitimate thing that a lot of people think is going to happen. That DeWanna Bonner is going to go back to Phoenix, and with that, Alyssa Thomas.
You might be wondering, why all the chaos? It all centers around one person, Stephanie White. She wasn't just the Suns' coach, she was the glue binding the team together. Now, with her departure, she's left a massive Stephanie White-shaped void in the Suns' organization, and everyone's feeling the impact.
So the team can't tank. The team can't win. And the worst part is that they're going further and further behind as far as WNBA teams are.
The Sun players' reaction to coach Stephanie White's departure was anything but calm. Shock, anger, and confusion took over as the news spread. Alyssa Thomas led the charge, posting fiery tweets that left no doubt about her feelings of betrayal, and she wasn't alone. The entire team is reeling, grappling with the sudden loss of their leader, feeling like the rug has been yanked out from under them. And if you're thinking it might not be all that bad, think again. It's worse. The Sun are now facing this upheaval without even having a first-round pick in the upcoming draft. Rebuilding under these circumstances is a nightmare. It's like trying to bake a cake with no ingredients in sight. The future looks daunting for the Sun.
The problem is the Sun are screwed because, one, you can't really tank because they gave their pick. I'm pretty sure they not give their pick to Chicago.
Even the fans are as distraught as the players. One fan joked they felt so embarrassed they wanted to dive into a bush just to hide from the chaos. Imagine that. Fans across Connecticut figuratively diving into bushes, desperate to escape the shame and disappointment surrounding their beloved team's sudden turmoil.
Screwed. The team is screwed. And again, if I was a fan of the Connecticut Sun, who celebrated that Indiana Fever playoff series win like it was the biggest thing in the world, this is what I would be right now. If I was near a bush, I would fall back into the bush to make sure nobody can see me.
Here's the real blow. This isn't just about losing their coach. The Sun now face the frightening possibility of a mass exodus, with core players like DeWanna Bonner potentially looking to leave. It's as if their championship puzzle is falling apart, piece by piece, with no clear way to rebuild.
And then they're coming into 2026 as the 6th seed with a mediocre pick, with a team with Dejanay and the whole team of free agents. Unless, of course, with their one real, you don't even have a first round pick this year.
What's next for the Sun? That's the million-dollar question. Management says they're focused on rebuilding, but how do you rebuild when the foundation of your team just shipped off to Indiana? It's going to take more than motivational speeches and new strategies to fix this. The Connecticut Sun we knew last season are gone, leaving a team in turmoil, facing an uncertain future. This is the kind of real-life drama you can't script, unfolding right before our eyes in the WNBA. As for the Fever, it might look like they simply got lucky, snagging a top coach while the Sun spiraled. But what if this was a carefully orchestrated plan? Stephanie White's return to Indiana isn't just a nostalgic homecoming. It's a reunion with the potential to ignite a basketball revolution. In a recent interview, when asked why she wanted this job, White hinted at something bigger, a vision that could take Indiana from the underdog role to championship contention. This move could shift the league's power dynamics entirely.
Do you want to take this job?
Well, first and foremost, it's home. I mean, this is a franchise and the Indiana Fever, Indiana Pacers that's in my DNA.
Let's dive into why the Indiana Fever just pulled off the heist of the century. Stephanie White isn't just any coach. She has an incredible history with the Fever that's bound to impress. Did you know she was part of their very first team back in 2000? That's right. White has been with the Fever since day one.
Grew up in Indiana, played with the franchise, of course, a part of the franchise when we won the WNBA championship.
Here's the crazy part. White was on the staff when the Fever last reached the finals. Can you guess what year that was? It was 2015, and White wasn't just a spectator. She was the head coach, steering the team to back-to-back semifinal appearances. Now that's an impressive track record, but it gets even better.
This morning, White, who spent the last 2 seasons with the Connecticut Sun, is an Indiana native and starred at Purdue. She was also on the Fever's coaching staff from 2011 to 2016 and was head coach for the last 2 years of that stint. She also played for the team for 4 seasons.
White knows Indiana basketball like the back of her hand. She's not just a coach, she's practically a legend in the state. Having been part of the Fever's fabric for over 2 decades, both as a player and a coach, her connection to the team is invaluable. That kind of bond, you simply can't buy it. You might be wondering what makes her so special.
I think the greatest thing is just, for me, having been a part of the WNBA for 25 years, having worked on both sides of it in the media and on the coaching.
Well, let me tell you, her track record is truly impressive. During her last stint as head coach, White led the Fever to a remarkable 55-25 record. That's not just good, that's championship-level quality. With stats like that, it's clear she knows how to win.
White went 55-25 with consecutive semifinal appearances with the Sun, winning WNBA Coach of the Year in 2023 before her return to the WNBA.
So how did the Fever manage to pull off the biggest coaching steal in WNBA history? It's quite simple. They knew exactly what they were getting. White isn't just a talented coach, she's an integral part of Indiana basketball history. As Kelly Koff put it, her deep roots and understanding of the game make her the perfect fit to lead the team back to glory. Can you believe it? She's not just coming back, she's coming home. And here's the kicker. White isn't just in it for a paycheck. She has unfinished business with this team. Remember that 2015 finals appearance? Well, White isn't satisfied with just making it there. She wants to win it all, and she knows exactly how to get it done. But here's where it gets really interesting. White has a secret weapon, and her name is Caitlin Clark. That's right. White's expertise in developing young talent is now paired with one of the most exciting prospects in WNBA history. In her interview, White revealed that she's been following Caitlin Clark's journey for years, highlighting the potential of this dynamic partnership. White isn't just bringing her defensive coaching skills back to Indiana. She's reintroducing a winning culture, a fierce competitive spirit, and a profound understanding of what makes this team thrive. It's as if she never left. But now she's returning stronger than ever, ready to lead the Fever to success. So buckle up, basketball fans. The Indiana Fever just pulled off the coaching move of the century, and with Stephanie White at the helm and Caitlin Clark waiting in the wings, this team is about to become the most exciting show in the WNBA. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of it. But hold on, there's more. While some rookies need time to adjust to the big leagues, Caitlin Clark isn't just any rookie. She's got something up her sleeve that could shake up the entire WNBA. Here's the kicker. She shares a remarkable connection with Coach White. Did you know they both wore the number 22? Oh yes, they did. Talk about destiny. This unique bond could ignite an unstoppable force on the court, making the Fever a team to watch as they aim for championship glory. Let's address the elephant in the room. Caitlin Clark is poised to take the WNBA by storm. You might be thinking, sure, she's good, but can she really dominate at the pro level? Well, get ready for a shock because Clark is more than just talented. She has a chip on her shoulder and something to prove. Remember all those records she shattered in college? That was just the warm-up. Now she's ready to show the world what she can do on the biggest stage. It's not just about Clark's incredible skills. It's also about how seamlessly she aligns with White's coaching style. The two are like peanut butter and jelly, Batman and Robin, Jordan and Pippen. A match made in basketball heaven. Caitlin Clark can't hide the respect she has for White, and that mutual admiration could be the spark that propels the Fever to new heights. This dynamic duo is ready to light up the court. So, what makes them such a perfect match? It all comes down to one key factor. White has been watching Clark play since she was in 8th grade. Can you believe that? While everyone else is just now jumping on the Clark bandwagon, White has had a front row seat for years. And here's the crazy connection between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White that no one's talking about. They both share an insane drive to win. White has even stated it herself, emphasizing their mutual commitment to excellence. That's not just coach speak. It's a genuine connection between two individuals who live and breathe basketball. But here's the kicker. White isn't just planning to let Clark do her thing. She already has plans to elevate Clark into an even bigger superstar than she already is. We're talking about taking Clark's game to an entirely new level. Imagine Clark's incredible college performances, but with White's years of WNBA experience guiding her. It's going to be like witnessing a basketball superhero origin story unfold in real time. But here's where things get really wild. Clark might not be the only piece of this championship puzzle. White has her sights set on building an entire team of superstars around Clark. We're talking about players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell. This isn't just about one player taking over the league. It's about creating a whole new basketball dynasty in Indiana. The Fever are poised to redefine the landscape of the WNBA, and the excitement is palpable. WNBA fans, what's about to unfold in Indiana isn't merely a rookie debut or a coach's homecoming. It's a full-blown basketball revolution, and you won't want to miss a single second of it. So, is Indiana really on the brink of becoming a WNBA powerhouse? You might think there's no way they can compete with the heavyweights, but let me tell you why you're mistaken. First, let's highlight the young talent on this team. It's not just Caitlin Clark. The Fever are loaded with a whole roster of rising stars. Did you know they boast an all-star trio that includes Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston? That's right. It's only the second time in franchise history that the Fever have had 3 all-stars in a single season. Can you believe it? This isn't just a one-woman show, it's a full-on basketball revolution. And the potential for greatness in Indiana is just beginning to unfold. But here's where it gets really intriguing. Stephanie White has a master plan to build a dynasty, and it's already in motion. She's not just excited about coaching Caitlin Clark. She's equally pumped about the entire young and talented roster. White knows she's got something special here and is ready to capitalize on it. Now, you're probably wondering what this plan entails. Well, the Fever aren't just focused on next season. They're playing the long game. They're building around their young core, which is a solid strategy. But that's not all. Get this. They have the potential to sign 2 max contract players in 2026. Can you imagine what that could mean for the team? It's as if they're setting up dominoes, just waiting for the perfect moment to knock them all down. With this kind of foresight, the Fever are not just aiming for immediate success, they're gearing up for a sustained run at greatness. What's the Fever's wild plan to build a dynasty around Caitlin Clark? It goes beyond just one player. It's about creating a perfect storm of talent. They're focused on developing their young stars while enhancing their roster through strategic free agency and the draft. With championship aspirations in sight, it's as if they're concocting a secret recipe for success. And Clark is just one of the essential ingredients in their mix. Get this, White isn't just thinking about next season. She's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. The Fever's management has complete confidence in her elite basketball IQ and her deep connection to the franchise. They aren't just hoping for a few good seasons. They're aiming to create a championship-caliber team that could dominate for years to come. So there you have it, folks. The WNBA landscape has been flipped on its head. The Connecticut Sun are in total freefall, their championship dreams crumbling before our eyes. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever are gearing up for what could mark the beginning of a basketball dynasty. I honestly believe the Fever are set to outperform the Sun next year, especially with the Sun likely shifting into rebuild mode, trying to acquire whatever assets they can. Is this really the end of the Sun's era and the dawn of the Fever's takeover? It's looking more and more probable. The Sun are facing a potential mass exodus of players, while the Fever have Stephanie White, Caitlin Clark, and a roster brimming with young talent ready to take the league by storm. This is monumental for anyone who's a fan of the Fever. We're witnessing the rise of a team that now has a competent general manager, a strong front office, and an accomplished coach. One thing's for sure, next season is going to be absolutely wild. Expect drama, upsets, and perhaps even a new WNBA powerhouse in the making. Trust me, you won't want to miss a single second of it. The WNBA is about to become more thrilling than ever before. Are you ready?